Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Eddie Marcus here. Can you remember over the past several years, and even maybe more than that, when you heard it prophesied by media and just others who are supposed to be watching the conditions of our society as we exist? And they've been telling us that there's coming a time when things are going to be so tight, food will not be able to be delivered. People are going to be suffering because things are going to change to that degree. Many of us have had a smooth ride, depending upon where we've been living, and some of us have had a worse ride. But the information has been to condition us to know that someday in the future it's going to be rough. Wherever you are, regardless of how good it has been, it's going to be rough. And you think about, well, why should it be rough? I mean, if it can work at any point in time, what is supposed to stop it at another point in time? This is some things that some people were thinking contemplate. Yet, somehow, for some strange reason, they seem to fail to come up with the answer. Or do they? And then you wake up this morning, or any morning, and you hear Robert F. Kennedy, a guy who's been put in a position of power in this country, even though his family has begged us to ignore him as they begged us to ignore Trump, and America just wouldn't. And so I hear him talking about laying off tens of thousands of people. And just think about all of these various departments that Doge, Doge, whatever you want to call it, Muff, and Trump are carrying out the instructions of the world powers, people who run the world. They are carrying out their instructions to destructure America. That's exactly what they're doing, ladies and gentlemen. You know, I shared with you, and I'm sure you can understand by now that every human being on this earth cannot live unless they are supported by food and clothing and shelter and other things that we have determined are essential. And those people who haven't progressed that way, we still call them barbarians. And so it seems as if perhaps we're trying to associate ourselves from our history, that we are trying to do everything that we've progressed and think or thought that we had learned from. We just want to turn that away. So it seems as if there is an attempt, an effort to take America back to its barbarism days. But I ask you, ladies and gentlemen, why not think about this thing? Think about if God made it possible that everything that's living must have certain things to continue living. And when we here in America have determined that, well, these are some things that we have determined are actually necessary for all of us, and then you come in for a leader. You come up with some rules and regulations that's supposed to protect the people over time, that are supposed to protect all of the people, even though they never have. You know, then I was hearing about some Thurman dude back years ago try to stand up and speak against civil rights. Now, how silly can that be? But they did it. And here we are, ladies and gentlemen, laying off thousands of people in every capacity of life. People who won't have jobs. And these apparently people, if they were working, had a job, man, they will have some responsibilities. Maybe a car note, maybe some food, maybe rent, maybe transportation, otherwise, all kinds of things. But the people who have been chosen to protect America and see that America can move forward have come in and lied to Americans and tricked Americans, and Americans have put them in office. And they are deconstructing America, tearing down everything they possibly can, setting America up to endure as much pain and suffering as they themselves can cause, and using every element that was set up to protect America now to destroy America. It is absolutely pathetic, but that's what's going on. And there's going to come a time, ladies and gentlemen, real soon, that they're going to be telling you that food cannot be distributed over here. You're going to have warehouses and warehouses of food that's sitting up rotten because the men and women of humanity, a lack thereof, have housed this food up and did everything they possibly can to keep this food from being shipped to places where people are hungry. They're doing everything they possibly can to make sure that they are not employees to construct and work and design and logistically make sure that these things are carried forward. This government that we, the American people, have held up but for the world as being superior, even though they might have been lying. And they might have been telling the truth depending on who is being compared to. Saying we're causing pain and suffering to the kids, we're going to cut food out so they won't be able to eat early in the morning at school. That's not bad enough. We're going to make sure that their parents won't even have a place, have the ability to house them. We're going to cause this nation to suffer. That's what the leadership of America is being told today. And today you got a Republican Party that will not stand against it. They might be against it, they say in private. I heard that. I don't know for sure. All I know is that the pain and suffering is here. And it does not just Republicans. Republicans are the ones that's standing out there holding their head up in the chest out saying, to hell with all you people. Don't no one matter but white supremacy or what we have designated as being superior or what we have designated above you. And this, my friends, is not just white people talking. This is the leadership of the world. These are the power structures. These are the secret societies. These are those big groups that construct and control every war, control every uh, racism award, that controls every economic destruction that we have on this earth. These are the people that do it. And it has to do with money and everything that has to do with human beings. They've just actually taken over what God designed perfectly. God designed perfectly that you can live and have your needs, your wants, and your desires met. God designed perfectly that you can live in peace, be prosperous and free, joy and happy, and live your dreams. God prepared perfectly that you would never have to suffer for food or lack thereof, clothing, shelter, education, healthcare, transportation, or anything that's made by the hands of man. That's what God, the invisible power that you've been